And champ, I don't know if it's a chemical imbalance or I don't know if it's just this particular type of Axe spray. But when I tell you that this doesn't agree with me at all, it doesn't agree with me. I literally smelled like a goddamn Italian hoagie right after I put this on. This is terrible for me. I don't know if it works for you, but this is not working for me. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. So I want to touch on Jalen Ramsey. He's been in a lot of interviews lately just saying a lot of blasphemous things, in my opinion. He's praising certain quarterbacks. Well, I agree with one thing he said. Not to be biased, Carson Wentz is a future MVP. That's what Jalen said. He said Carson's a future MVP. I got to agree with you there. He said Matt Ryan is overrated. I also agree with you there. But he likes Dak Prescott? How? How? Is this by just off what you see on TV? Because you never even played against Dak. You know what I mean? It's just idiot-like comments like that is what just burns me. So obviously some favoritism there. You can't say you don't like Carson Wentz because everybody on the planet likes Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? It's easy to say you don't like Matt Ryan because he chokes. What he's doing is basically agreeing with what everybody else is saying. That's all he's doing. There's no originality in those thoughts in his head. And he's going to end up, if he keeps on going that route, just saying dumb stuff that comes into his mind, he's going to end up making the Jaguars not so much about defense and football and more about what he's going to say next. He's going to end up being a cancer and casting himself out of that team. I can see it happening now. Didn't the kid just get suspended for week 1 for just being him? I mean, come on. Doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, moving on from that. I'm starting to believe that the Dallas Cowboys fans are senile. I think dementia is setting in with a lot of them. You know, there's no way in the world that you could fathom, that you could even say that the Eagles have never ran the NFC East for a period of time. Donovan McNabb been to 5 straight NFC Championship games. If that's not dominating the NFC East, I don't know what is. These other teams weren't even in the fold when McNabb and T.O. and McNabb, when he didn't even have T.O., Todd Pinkston and all those other guys, Westbrook. I mean, come on, man. Jeremiah Trotter, Corey Simon. It was a domination. We were the best team in the NFC a lot of those years. Brian Dawkins and everybody else. So Cowboys fans just being Cowboys. You know, they ain't never won nothing. They don't have nothing to talk about but the Eagles. Nothing to talk about but the Eagles. Nothing to talk about but the Eagles. You know what I mean? And it just is getting more and more repetitive the closer the season gets. You got people losing credibility, just saying things that don't make any sense. Ian Rappaport just thinking and reporting without getting facts. Especially when you're reporting on the Philadelphia Eagle, the reigning defending champions. We need facts when you're reporting on sports. And all I like to deal in is with facts. You know, I don't like to deal with anybody delusional mind. A lot of these guys, they can't create football-based content. So what they do is trash talk other organizations. When I say the Eagles are the best, because on paper I believe we are the best. On paper I believe we are bigger up front and more athletic up front than everybody else. Which is the basis of why we win. You know, a lot of these guys, they can't break down why do you think this is for the Cowboys fans. Why can you logically say, what can you logically say to make me believe that there's a scientific explanation for you thinking the Cowboys are winning the division with Dak Prescott? There is no logical explanation. Yeah, your offensive line is good, but Dak Prescott has not shown he can carry a team or he can make all the throws. So what in your mind thinks that you are good? I know what in my mind makes me think the Philadelphia Eagles are good. And this is just sports-based simply because we just won a Super Bowl and we added and nobody left. We added and nobody of significance left. That's how I know we are good. This is how I know the Pittsburgh Steelers are good. Their core is still together and they continuously make the playoffs. You know, this is how I know the Patriots are good. The core is still together, and they continuously make the playoffs. These other teams that think that they got a shot and it's going to happen out of nowhere, I don't understand it. Yeah, our shot kind of happened out of nowhere, but we had players in the cut, and we had players doing what they were supposed to do. Our shot happened out of nowhere. I will say that. Not many people predicted the Eagles to win the Super Bowl last year at the beginning of the season. But as the season progressed and you seen how good Carson Wentz was, then you knew it was for real. Then you knew you have a franchise quarterback. So a lot of these guys are making content not based upon facts. They're not making content that's based upon, you know, critical thoughts. They're making content based upon emotions and what they want to happen. But the fact of the matter is, this team behind me, this team right here, this team on this flag won the Super Bowl and got better in the offseason. So yeah, it may come off as us being cocky as Eagles fans, but the fact of the matter is, we are good. We're a good football team, which is why we're ranked #1, which is why Bleacher Report took that egg on the face and cleaned that up. We're a great football team. The Vikings have reason to believe they're going to be good. So do the Rams. So do Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. These teams have reason to believe they're going to be good. What's everybody else's reason? What's everybody else's reason? You know? What's everybody else's reason? I have no reason to believe that the Dallas Cowboys record can be better than the Cleveland Browns. I have no reason to believe that. I have no reason to believe that. Both teams don't consistently make the playoffs. What's the difference between the Cleveland Browns and the Dallas Cowboys? A huge fan base, and the Cowboys having a history of winning. A history of winning. It's ancient history now. That's the only difference. So these guys making content, you got these Falcons guys making content. The Falcons are consistently in the hunt. They're not chopped liver. I'll keep it real about that. But the Falcons even have a better claim to think that they're going to be good before the Cowboys, in my opinion, because Matt Ryan is a former MVP. He has one of the top 3 receivers in the league. He has one of the top 3 receivers in the league. And while we're on the subject of critical thinking, I looked at the top wide receiver for fantasy this year. Odell Beckham is #3 in the top wide receiver. The top tight end is Ingram, the tight end from the Giants, and I believe he was #5. And the top running back is Saquon Barkley at #5 for the Giants. So this is what I'm talking about with critical thinking. Eli Manning wasn't even in the top 20. So you mean to tell me that your starting quarterback is not in the top 20 and franchise quarterbacks projected to do well, but you put his #1 receiver there and his #1 tight end? So if he's not projected to be in the top 20, who's going to deliver the ball to these guys? A guy that you got ranked top 28 or something like that? A guy that you got ranked beneath top 20 is going to have enough stats to pull this guy who's you got ranked top 3 in Odell Beckham to get top 3 points and Ingram to get top 5 points in their respective positions. Makes absolutely no sense. Makes absolutely no sense unless Eli Manning ain't starting, unless somebody else play for the Giants that we don't know about. So that's what I mean with critical thinking. You can't say that this wide receiver is going to be great and dynamic if you don't have his quarterback being great and dynamic. You can't say that. You can't say that. You cannot have a good year by a wide receiver if your quarterback isn't putting up good numbers, especially at the tight end position. Now, I agree. I agree. It makes logical sense to have Saquon Barkley and the top 5 running backs projected for fantasy points, because if Eli Manning is stinking it up, Saquon's going to get the rock. Saquon's going to get the rock. But if Ingram finishes top 5 and Odell finishes top 3, which is projected, then I expect Eli Manning to at least be a top 10 projected fantasy quarterback by critical thinking. But there's no critical thinking. It's all this name, this team, they do this, we expect them to do this. And it never turns out the way you guys want it to turn out, which is why I don't listen to anybody, which is why I listen to myself, which is why I get the facts, I get the reports, and I report it to the subscribers. These guys don't know the first thing about content that makes sense. It's all a brainwashing mechanism, in my opinion. We are trained by the media to say, yes, the Cowboys this, the Cowboys that, the Pittsburgh Steelers this, the New England Patriots that, oh, Aaron Rodgers this. No, Aaron Rodgers can have a bunch of Walmart employees on his goddamn offensive line, and we're still going to say Aaron Rodgers is going to have a terrific season. We're still going to say it. We're still going to say it. The media has been giving Aaron Rodgers virtual head since he took over the starting position, but he only got 1 ring. He only got 1 ring. He only got 1 ring. And the fact of that is, what makes Aaron Rodgers so much better than Russell Wilson? They both only got 1 ring. But why is Aaron Rodgers so greatly regarded as top 2 every year? Every year. Every year. It's all a mechanism to get you to believe who you think is going to be good instead of opening your eyes and seeing. What makes you think the Eagles don't... My damn gimbal just died. I need to charge it. What makes you think the Eagles don't have as much of a shot as anybody? Our chances are just better. Just better. We got better where we got better at. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. So the message of today to these sports guys making this content is critical thinking. Think critically before you talk about sports. Because I pay attention. There's only a few of us thinking critically. There's only a few of us thinking with sense. Yeah, I understand your team is your team, but please be realistic. Especially Dallas, be realistic. Be realistic. Be realistic. And that's my tip to you content makers who just say baloney every single day, man. I look at your videos. Be realistic. Because the realer you are, the more subscribers you'll get. The more subscribers you'll get. The realer you are, the more subscribers you'll get. Which is why I'm closing in on 2,000 subscribers. Because I'm real and my content is real. And it's uncut and it's unfiltered. And I'm giving out smoke to whoever think the Eagles not for real. Especially after winning the Super Bowl. You got to be kidding me, man. This is Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you. And when I say I'm the best reporting on the Eagles, you got to feel it. You got to feel it.